Exercise is key to health. For me, that means running, cardio. But what else should I be doing? And how often? Exercise shouldn't be something else to stress you out. So let's go talk about it with my expert guests. Hello, Vermont. I've always understood why cardio was good for me. It exercises your heart, and you need your heart to keep beating if you want to stay alive. Pretty simple, right? Everything else has always been a little hazy. Like, if I'm not a bodybuilder, why do I need to do strength training? For me, that's when you turn to an expert. So I am incredibly pleased to have Justina Reichelt joining me in the studio today. Justina is a certified ACSM exercise physiologist who's been a personal trainer and taught yoga, mat Pilates, TRX, and spin classes. Currently, she's the assistant director for fitness programs with UVM Campus Recreation. Justina, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
I'm very excited about this one, and thank you for not making any comments during my running video about posture, form, anything like
great.
that. Okay, well, that's what I love to do, and I'm very excited to get to talk more about what else I should be doing. But first, let's talk a little bit about Campus Rec. So UVM Campus Rec, who can use it?
So Campus Rec at UVM, a lot of people, when I say work for Campus Rec, they don't realize what Campus Rec is. It includes the fitness center, sport programs, fitness programs, and any student or faculty staff has access to that. And then people in the public can buy memberships to our facility and utilize our fitness center and programming.
So it really is, so it is open to the public. You come in, you pay a small fee, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then campus.
Like any gym.
Exactly, like any gym. Okay, and so now let's talk a little bit about movement and exercise. Let's start big picture. Moving the body, it's good for us. Why is it good for us?
That's a great question. And I think some of the things are hidden, right? We don't see like stronger bones until we break a bone.
Good point.
Or we don't think of like our heart being an actual muscle, which you're doing a great job exercising. You know, a lot of times when I'm talking to my mom about different things, she doesn't realize how important exercise is until she loses the ability to move those different body parts.
Yeah, it's like move it or lose it.
Move it or lose it, yeah. So I mean, I think about like improving recovery, warding off sickness. Those are things that people don't actually see maybe on the surface, but they realize once they start exercising that their ability to bounce back from an injury or tolerate pain, all of those things improve. And I mean, I think one of the biggest things is our mood, right? Our ability to connect with other people and connect with ourselves.
All those mental
really
health
important.
benefits.
Yeah.
All right. So how much exercise should a person, this sounds like should, I hate the word should, but how much exercise are we aiming for a week?
Yeah, a great question. So for people who are doing cardiovascular activity, we say through ACSM, American Sports College of Medicine, 150 minutes per week. So 30 minutes for 5 days per a day. So 30 minutes on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at moderate activity. So moderate would be like where right now, if we were on treadmills and we were jogging doing this segment, we could still talk to each other. You could tell me your life story, but you're a little bit breathless. Like you're catching your breath. You're kind of hoping that I kind of ask some I talk a little bit during it, you know, that kind of a little bit of uncomfortable. Yeah.
Okay. That's moderate.
Yeah, that's moderate. So then 75 minutes is vigorous, which would be like we're out of breath, we're breathless at different points in the workout, so much so that like we can't even talk to each other. So I always think like on a 10-point scale, like moderate is sort of like that 6 to 7 range, and then 7 to like 9 would be, you know,
where would like a yoga class fall into that, for example?
Great question. Yeah, so yoga class would be sort of a 3. I would say 1 is just waking up and laying in your bed doing nothing. It depends on the yoga class, right? There's all different kinds of yoga class, and that's what's fun with fitness. Other important, I think, standards for people to know is strength training. So ACSM talks about strength training being at least a minimum of 2 days a week and doing all of the different body parts, groups, 8 to 10 exercises, 8 to 12 reps of each one. So doing that twice a week. And then lastly is flexibility. So making sure that we're stretching all of our different muscles. And I think that that gets missed a lot, but it can be so helpful.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna ask you some more specific questions about each of those two things in a moment. But so 150 minutes, that's a lot. That means 5 times a week. So really, it also is about creating an exercise habit, right?
Yeah, and I think sometimes we listen, like when we hear a standard like that, we think, oh, 30 minutes of exercise. I don't have 30 minutes, but it could be broken into like a 10-minute running from one place to another. You know, you have to walk across, for me, campus. Yeah. Or if like you can fit in 3 10-minute segments in one day, then that's great.
So not getting too concerned about needing to dedicate a whole hour of your day to nothing but exercise, but making certain that at least you're laddering up, right? And that you're dedicating a portion of each day to movement and to getting that heart rate up and to thinking about, you know, like, where am I at? Am I a 3? Am I a 6? Maybe I'm at a 7.
And I think remembering anything is better than nothing.
And anything is better than nothing. Okay, so how about men and women? Any differences, or how about age as well?
Yeah, so the question of men and women, always for me, I'm a like 3rd child, I'm a girl, and I have 2 brothers, and always keeping up with them. I mean, men are always going to have this performance advantage just because of biology and what we're born with our hormones. But in general, like, the standards are the same across the board. Everybody should be moving. Everybody should be doing strength training. Everybody should be doing cardio.
And at all ages.
At all ages. I mean, these standards are for 18 and up.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, 18 and up. Okay. So we don't get a free pass when we get older, but also our needs aren't necessarily dramatically different. We don't need more exercise, say, as we get older. We need a consistent habit of exercise.
Great. Yeah. I'd say beyond 65, the standards might change just a little bit for seniors, but just so it's more curtailed to their needs.
Got it. Okay. So now, so specific forms of exercise. Like I said, I'm cardio. I understand cardio, but what are the specific benefits of cardio exercise?
Well, I think, like we were talking about earlier,
keeping your heart moving.
Like, your heart is a muscle, and I think people forget that we need to train our heart muscle to be strong for circulation and for carrying away toxins and all of those things. In addition to that, I feel like cardio exercise, the impact, for cardio exercise, it doesn't have to be impact, but for running, for instance, like, you're doing a great job of challenging your bones and the stability of your body and going through range of motion with cardio.
I have heard that before, that for women in particular, running is a great exercise because it helps counteract some of the osteoporosis that can set in as we start to lose bone mass as we age.
Yeah, absolutely. And for women, that is a greater concern. Yeah. Stamina. So I think people forget, if I want to play with my grandchildren, or if I want to keep up with my nieces or nephews, there's an amount of stamina that you need that doesn't come if you're not the parent of the child for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's very true. So outside of cardio, what are other great ways to get a good cardio workout? Or sorry, outside of running.
Outside of running, right. Yeah, so running, for a lot of people, is just not accessible. Yeah. I think people forget that if you're doing something using your large muscle groups, so I mean, if you just point to your body, like the bigger parts of your body, so using legs, doing things like squats, or doing things like walking lunges can be a great way of getting your heart rate up. When we teach strength classes, we teach people to make sure that they're warming up the large muscle groups to get the heart rate up and get the circulation up and the joints lubricated. I think that's really great. I also think that people forget, just going out for a walk, and you can do intervals where you're walking faster or slower. I love using telephone poles to say, like, okay, from this telephone pole to that telephone pole.
I'm going to increase my pace.
Yeah.
Okay, this is great. So we can do it through walking. We can do it by using the large muscles. I love all that. You talked about strength training for a minute. Here's a question I have about strength training. Do you need to be in a gym, and do you need a lot of equipment in order to do strength training effectively?
You don't need it to do it effectively. I mean, it's great for progression, right? But just to start and to be meeting basic standards for strength training, you can do all of your major muscle groups with your body weight. The only thing that's a little bit tricky are pulls, and we are in a push dominant society, so pulls, you should be doing like 2 pulls for every 1 push, and pulls are pretty tricky if you don't have a weight. But even, I mean, if you think about, if I was to pull a table, or if I was to pull it, you can use things in your house to pull, to practice pulls. Those are really helpful just because of our kyphotic posture and being able to be a little bit more upright and strengthen those back muscles.
And I know that there is the RISE program that is through Campus Rec. We're going to put a graphic up about that because this is something that if people wanted some coaching in the gym that they can take a look at, and there's some videos here that show different strength training moves and even help you build a strength training program.
Yeah, I've been at UVM for 15 years now, and it was always a vision of Campus Rec in general to have something accessible to not just students who are not necessarily on campus, but to just the entire population of people who access our resources. And Letty Gallagher, a coworker of mine, created some programming with videos, and I believe you're going to share the link to that. But there's also going to be a program that you can do at home without any weights.
Oh, fantastic.
So you have options of weights. You have options of using different things in your house that weigh things.
Yeah.
And if you're at a gym, you have the option of selectorized machines or using weights.
So good at-home resources too.
Yes.
Good. Okay, good. People should definitely check those out. All right. So then you mentioned flexibility, balance. Tell us a little bit about why those things are important.
Yeah. So flexibility is super important for improving your ability to learn new movements, which I think people forget, that your body needs to be able to move through a range of motion to be able to learn a movement or to be able to keep a movement, right? So if we're not going through range of motion, then we lose our ability to move in that range of motion.
Okay.
We lose flexibility about 10% per decade after 30. So it's not linear. Like today I'm going to lose one, or like this year I'm losing 1%. Next year so it could be 5% in 1 year. But pretty much over the course of a decade, you'll lose 10% per year of flexibility. So it's super important to be able to keep up with that so that you can actually move. I remember my mom coming to my yoga class, and she said one of the first things after doing yoga for a little while was I can turn my head over my shoulder to see when I'm biking or when I'm driving.
All those things where we don't necessarily think about range of motion and the things that we need to be able to do just to perform our activities of daily life.
Yeah, and just being able to pick up your feet in general. I think agility, we think, oh, I'm not an athlete, so I'm not going to train speed agility. But being able to balance and being able to change your weight over one foot to the other with speed is really important.
So one of the things I know you also do, moving as long as we're almost done, with campus, you work with student trainers, right?
Yeah, so at UVM, one of the best things is creating autonomy, so students being able to train other students. And I have the pleasure of some really passionate exercise science students that come and want to be personal trainers or group fitness instructors. A lot of them have never even done, they say, I know my mom does group fitness. And then I took a group fitness class and I really loved it, or personal training. So it's a real privilege,
Okay, well, ready for some exciting news. Part of our mission at Across the Fence is to bring UVM to you. So Justina has handpicked some UVM student trainers to join me in the studio and teach us some moves to help you meet your exercise goals. That's coming up, so stay tuned. You're going to want to watch. We're going to have these segments coming on the air on a regular basis. Really excited about it. Justina, thank you so much for joining me. This has been very informative, very excited. I'm going to bring new things into my exercise adventure, and I can't wait for our new program together.
Thank you.
And as always, Vermont, thank you for learning and exploring with me today, and thanks to the team that makes Across the Fence possible. I'm Amy Finley. This is Across the Fence. Come back and let's learn and explore again tomorrow.